Hello, welcome back to Let's Play, what do you call it? Nioh 2. And, we're going to get ourselves a little bit ready here. Actually, that's probably better. Yeah, that's better. That's going down. It's going down. 207. I could take this. I'm not. Well, I'm actually decent with everything now. Okay. Otherwhelm resistance. I mean, this goes up. Gives me more life. Makes my weight heavier. Is this... Didn't I have a ninjutsu power toughness? There's this, which is a fairly significant increase. But it is heavy. I mean, to be honest, I'm as good with heavy as I am with anything else right now. Fire resistance. Yes, please. No. I think we're good with the Knight Raider Greaves. Fire resistance is coming in on there. Do water damage, elemental damage taken. Okay. What I should do, we got this now. What I should do is I should have waited a little bit to see about raising my anima there and getting that ready. That might happen here. Yep, it's going up a little bit. Okay. That was a pretty clean kill. Cool. Wow. That just sort of tore things apart. Okay. You know what? I'm getting close to the anima gauge, so I'm going to go... and hopefully don't get myself killed. Not anima gauge. Whatever the thing is for the yokai shift. We're getting closer. You're going to get to see my loop, my farming loop. There we go. You were saying. Not get that guy. Huh. I'm thinking I'm recovering life because of enemy kills. Okay, before I fight you... Oh. I've been nailing that timing. So of course the one time I do it on camera. Yep. There we go. Oh, good. I'm where I need to be. But, you know, might as well. I don't usually spend this many arrows on it because I don't have the massive amount of arrows in the stockpile that I usually do, that I do later in the game, because I haven't finished this mission yet and I don't have the blacksmith. Okay. When we get when we get this mission done, I get the blacksmith unlocked, and she's awesome. But right now, I'm being very careful and doing my prep for boss run things, which is basically avoid using resources that you plan to use in the boss fight. And I don't plan to use arrows in this fight. By the way, I found a little tiny chest over here that I hadn't noticed before. It's right there, this thing. It's open now. Okay. I have leveled up a little bit more. And I have one more thing left, and that's strength. And then after that, it's going to be almost all magic. And courage. Magic, courage, magic, courage, magic, courage. Key. And it also apparently affects your magic to some degree. Oh yeah. What does it do? Tonfa. Yeah, that was the reason why I might go to Tonfa. Magic, courage. I might do a bit of dexterity too because ninjutsu. But I'm going to be doing mostly magic, I think. Which means I'm going to be mostly melee because a lot of the magic stuff is enchant weapon. Later on, you start getting ranged. Which means I might also build up some... It's going to be magic, 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 which means I'll be using this. And I'll probably build up the Tonfa as soon as I get a good one. For my... I could do glaive and... You know what? Actually, let me look and see what that looks like. That doesn't look that bad. Now, to be honest, I usually prefer to have one for short range and one for long range. But the switch glaive is very flexible. Okay, let's go see what we have right here. Level 14, level 18. No, from experience, that doesn't last long. They're probably extremely skilled, but I don't get that skill. I get a bot, level 21, with their stats. So... Oh, cool. Another water lady. Can't have two, I guess. And her name is in non-English letters, so it won't... My computer apparently doesn't have the proper... Okay. Yep, I was waiting for this. I missed? Did she die? Oh. 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 I wish I could understand what you were saying. Oh. It's a corrupt. It's a yokai weapon. Dude, I really wish I could understand what you were saying. Okay. I like, I mean, on the one hand, you could do this yourself. I think I did this on my own the first time. I'm not sure. I can't remember. But I actually like calling for the help. I like seeing the designs other people come up with. It's kind of cool. There's a whole like forum somewhere of people showing the designs they have to create, to recreate like canon characters from like fan fiction characters. You know, like Poison Ivy in this game or something like that. Okay, go to there we go. Oh yeah. Battle friend. And now we have a mermaid. Very clearly. Shish kebabs. I miss Japanese shish kebab.
というわけで、こいつは敵じゃないってことだ。
で、あやかしまで引き連れて何がしたいの？
俺はな、大空に輝くでっかいお天道様になるんだ。
とんだやましね。
要は誰にも負けんほど偉くなってやるってことだ。
私は一匹でも多くあやかしを借りたい。それだけ。
ちょっと待て。仲間になるのが嫌なら、ここは藤吉郎流。
どいて。
銭を払う。雇われてくれ。
こんなはした金で？とんだ勘違いね。今度会ったらあいつは殺すから。
おい、ちょっと。
She's cool. Okay, so that woman was no samurai, but then who the hell was she? Well, with moves like that, she's someone you definitely want on your side, that's for sure. Anyway, at least we're done with Master Dosen's request, but let's not stop now. We need to find ourselves more spirit stones, but we need to stay sharp. I've got a feeling we're going to run into more trouble along the way. I'm counting on you, Hide. One moment, please. One moment. Okay, so let's finish this up because I'm thinking I want this. Narrows 22 and 14. Oh, it's 17 and 20. That's not terrible. Okay. Do I have a better Anki? I don't think I do. Okay, so cool. Oh. Oh, nice titles. Okay. So, main mission, got that. We can do it again. Starting point. And I'm thinking about playing games a little bit with, what is this? Oh, this is a new one. Okay. I'm thinking about playing a little bit with our appearances. Oh. New one, Voice in the Twilight. Okay. But first, I want to know more. Oh, well, this is the end of the previous video. Let me go ahead. Okay, so this just is the... This is the... I'll have to reread these. Let's see here. Special finds. Exceptional items are available in limited numbers. When you return from a mission, you will find the stock has changed. Mistakenly sell items or equipment. You can buy them back at the same price. Buybacks are limited to the last 20 sales. Forge new weapons and armor. The amount of time you used a piece of equipment. Yep. Increases the level of your equipment. Overwritten by that of the equipment used as material, but the base equipment's familiarity will be... Okay. So, supposedly the way that works is you take something of higher level and match it with the lower level. One special effect that can be inherited. Yep. Can be transferred to other equipment. Special effect can only be transferred once, and the icon will be attached to one special effect at most on a piece of equipment. Change the appearance. Special effects of a piece of equipment. Yep. Remodel plus value and alter plus value characteristics. I don't know exactly what that means. Speak to Toyo. What's that? You're in the mood for a chat. I'm always happy to talk as long as you promise not to get bored with me talking about weapons. Sounds good to you? Well then I hope you'll learn something new. Let's start with swords then. I can hammer out any kind of weapon if I'm asked to, but there's just something special about making swords. From way back, swords have been seen as works of art, not just weapons, fine enough to be passed down through clans as heirlooms. And in time those heirlooms eventually become a symbol of that clan's power, and it doesn't stop there. Swords are even considered valuable enough to be presented as offerings to the gods at shrines. It's for those reasons that the best swordsmiths are highly respected even by high-ranking officials of the Imperial Court. And that's no mean feat. Craftsmen other than blacksmiths are usually looked down on by those at the top. That's not to say that I'm looking to rub shoulders with the elite. Nope, for me it's all about someday forging a sword even greater than that of the old masters. A sword worthy of being wielded by someone like Shisinin Kosin, the master swordsman who carries the legacy of the great Minamoto no Yoshitsune. Okay. The spear has got to be one of the greatest weapons ever conceived. You can keep your opponents at a distance, which is a huge boon for fledgling fighters. As long as you know how to poke in the right direction, you pose a pretty substantial threat, which is why you often see freshly recruited peasants and farmers wielding them. The long reach comes in handy for high-ranking samurai fighting on horseback, too. Spear technique also seems to have a lot of overlap with other polearms, which makes it good for those looking to master a wide range of martial arts. I've heard the whispers of Takigawa's clan retainer Satori Hanzo. You know that Hanzo the demon is a spear master. Anyway, regardless of whether it's in the hands of a master or novice, the spear cannot be beat. Well, that's if you're fighting people, of course. I have no idea how well it holds up against yokai. Axes have been used on the battlefield from the days of old, though there aren't many that use them now. I don't blame people that pass on them. For a start, you need to be stronger than the average person to swing them. And even though they're great on the offensive, they aren't so great when it comes to defense. but seems they were quite popular during the Nambokucho era. It was all about having weapons like axes and odachi that showed off one's strength. There's rumored to be a great rock at the Genpai War battlefield Ichi no Tani that Benkai was said to have sharpened his axe on before charging into battle. Benkai was known for... Oh, Anne's already yelling at me. Benkei? No, she's not. But I can just imagine her voice right now. You lived in Japan, Luke. You should know how to pronounce these things. Benkei was known... I'm probably still getting it wrong. Even though he used many weapons, I can definitely picture him swinging a big axe around. If you go even further, then there's also the famous Kintaro, or Sakata Kintoki, I should say. With so few wielding them, if you were to master the axe and flourish it on the battlefield, I bet you would become the stuff of legends too. Most samurai usually only carry two swords so that they have a spare if they can't use the other, rather than wielding them both at the same time. But when up against multiple enemies or against a particularly tricky foe, that's when both swords come out. Martial artists started practicing the skill of fighting dual swords to prepare for those kinds of situations, and before you knew it, a new dual-wielding school of swordsmanship was born. Compared to wielding a single sword with both hands, swinging one with enough force to do real damage with a single hand is pretty hard, which means the dual-wielding style probably isn't the best idea when up against an enemy in armor. But up against an exposed foe, the dual sword style really shines. As long as a blade connects, they're going to be hurting. I guess the main problem with having two swords is the cost of procuring them and the time you need to maintain them both. That's kind of a drag, hee hee. The shogun Ashikaga Yoshiteru is a legendary swordsman, and I heard he was a master of wielding two swords, though perhaps it's easier for a shogun with deep pockets, right? Yeah, it's got to be said, the Kusarigama is definitely one of the more unique weapons out there. Originally, they were simply sickles used by farmers and craftsmen in their daily work, but when trouble arose, they attached chains and counterweights to the trusty tools to turn them into weapons. When the country's in turmoil, you never know when some bandit or other is going to strike, right? So having a tool that could double as a weapon, it was an ingenious idea. If you remove the chain and counterweight, it's back to being just a plain old sickle, which makes it a great weapon for a ninja who don't want to draw attention to themselves. As word of the weapon began to spread, it caught the attention of martial artists interested in its use as a hidden weapon, and many started to study how best to use them. In particular, they were interested in how to counter the weapon, as it's always difficult to read the way a weapon will be used the first time you lay eyes on it. But to really study the weapon, they needed people with high level proficiency, so martial artists took it upon themselves to master it. As a result, there are now a bunch of schools of martial arts that make use of the Kusarigama, even a few devoted solely to the weapon. Martial arts expert Shinsenin Kosen is said to be the greatest there is when it comes to swinging one around, as well as a well-known practitioner of Shugendo, completely devoted to their study. That really doesn't come as a surprise. And I've kind of pushed this a little bit, so I'm going to end this video here.